What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today is June the 27th. I want to give you a pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and where big money is gravitating towards today. Before getting to any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that said, let's get right to it. Starting off, a couple data points came out, GDP as well as initial jobless claims. So initial jobless claims came in lower than the forecast, so 233 versus 236. And GDP on a quarter over quarter basis came in higher than the forecast, 1.4 versus 1.3. Both data points generally positive, but then again, this is how the market is somewhat messed up, because ever since this data has come out, futures haven't really done all that much, because I think right now the market does want somewhat negative data. Not this. This is positive. This shows growth. This doesn't justify rate cuts. So it's one of those backwards kind of things in the market that I absolutely hate, that we want basically negative data. We want to show no growth. So it's kind of messed up, but we'll have to wait and see what does happen once the market does open. Fear and greed index right now is at 41, so under the fear category. It's improving based on yesterday, so it was around 38, but still nonetheless, people's appetite for risk still isn't necessarily there. But without further ado, let's get right to some of the stocks. SOFI, no news, no SEC filings as of this morning, so it has been relatively quiet. New short interest percentage for SOFI is 18.39%. That is because NASDAQ did report yesterday, as you can kind of see. So as of June the 14th, there was about 186.07 million shares. So this is why it's kind of crappy, because it's always delayed data. But what Ortex does is they take this information, calculate what shorts have been doing ever since June the 14th, and this is how you do get roughly that 18.39% short interest. So something to kind of consider. Right now, SOFI is flat, so just watch for this S2 to hold, so $6.45. Between that S2, there's also going to be that kind of man-made resistance at $6.50, which is brought on by options. So it might just trade within that range, or potentially the next strong true resistance point is going to be $6.69. So let me know your thoughts on that. Walgreens is getting slaughtered this morning because of their earnings, so not necessarily the best, and so it's down about 19.6%. It's not heavily shorted, so 6.24% of the free float's being shorted, but if you kind of look at it from a percentage basis point, shorts have been really doubling down, so maybe they did anticipate this earnings to be negative. I don't really know all much about Walgreens kind of day-to-day operations and why maybe shorts would be catching on and why Walgreens was possibly going to miss, but again, needless to say, shorts kind of knew something was coming. If you are looking at trading it though, with it at $12.66, it is trading between this S3 and this S2. So I guess in essence, the market is treating Walgreens as trash. Any stock trading basically between these 2 points right now isn't good. Usually does insinuate something fundamentally wrong with the company, but $12.35 is going to be the next strong support that you'll want to watch for it to hold. On the flip side, $13.95. I don't know. Again, there could be more of a recovery once the market does interpret the GDP and everything else like that, but still just kind of take note of some of the strong support and resistance points. Another company missing on their earnings, which wasn't all that bad. They kind of just failed to give somewhat kind of good future guidance. It was neutral-ish, but again, down 3.79%. Shows how fickle the market is, on a side note about companies' earnings nowadays. But 2.62% of the free float's being shorted, and as you can kind of see, shorts have recently just doubled the hell down, quite increased. Maybe there was more of an anticipation once again associated to their earnings, but right now with it at 136, it is trading right below this R2, so just watch for it to hopefully regain and kind of push back into this R2 to R3. So right now 137 is going to be the next strong resistance / target, and then 131, which is kind of far-fetched. I don't see that being touched whatever today, but that's going to be the next strong support. Rivian is pulling back, so I think just the hype is somewhat diminished based on what they did announce a couple days back. So it is down 3.73%. Short interest is 19.19%, so that has gone up. As you can kind of see, shorts are starting to really double down, so they're kind of smelling blood in the market for the most part. So EV sector, growth stocks, very dependent on interest rates being cut. And so I think with all this good data, it might be even pushing that back slightly, even a little bit more. So something to kind of consider. And right now with it at $14.30 is trading still above all the key fib levels on this 1 day. So you have to look at the 1 week. It doesn't really show all that much. So it was a very strong resistance or support at that stage, 1481. So that's going to be the next strong target for Rivian today. On the flip side, $10.94 will be that next strong support. But obviously, I think if anything, it's just going to be gravitating towards this 1481 and this right here, 1392. So let me know your thoughts on that. Faraday. So I've been covering Faraday. There's no news, no SEC filings to really justify any action with Faraday. But based on the volume that is getting in, it does insinuate that something is happening, either excessive dilution or on the flip side, a big entity is buying into Faraday. At this stage in the game, it's really hard to distinguish between the two. So we just have to wait and see whether kind of the gains do hold, but it is up 22.99% so far because of, again, the new update from NASDAQ. This is where you do have the new short interest around 6%. Obviously, I don't think a lot of people might truly believe that or justify that, and actually it looks like Ortex is glitching right now, so I'll kind of move on from that. So right now with it at 56 and change, you kind of just watch for these 2 points to kind of watch for. So 54 to hold, and then 61 is going to be the next strong target. But Faraday is very much a momentum play. And so, yeah, I think in general, it could go up very fast. It all depends on capital getting in. And so, like I said, it's hard to distinguish exactly what is causing it to go up. The only thing I know is money is getting into Faraday. So something to kind of keep in mind. And finally, last but not least, International Paper Company, ticker's IP. So the Michael Scott Paper Company on a good old fun note. Funny thing is, there's been no official news. The only thing that really came out was associated to this. So 11K annual report of employee stock plans. So that came out after hours yesterday. So I think that is one of the biggest attributing factors why it is down this morning. And right here, 5.26% of the free float is being shorted. So shorts have really been doubling down with this company quite significantly, as you can kind of see. But we'll just have to wait and find out whether it kind of sticks around. Once again, maybe it's another kind of Walgreens scenario that they are anticipating something to come, or maybe that 11K was anticipated. I'm not really sure. But if you are looking at trading it right now with it at $41.60, it is trading right below this pivot point. So 41.91 will be a strong resistance slash target that you'll want to watch for IP to get above. On the flip side, 137 is going to be the next strong support. So I don't anticipate that to happen or to be touched. If anything, more commonly than not, once the market does open, especially with the data points, it might push back between this pivot and this R1. So just kind of take note of this. Most likely it will kind of flirt with this pivot throughout the rest of the days. So let me know your thoughts on all these stocks. What are you watching today? What are you buying, selling? What are you doing? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it, and they give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. Kick-ass deal, link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.